Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Harry Muppet, and yes, this is quarter-final number 4 in the WCS Season 2 final tournament. Yeah, I think I got that right. And game number 4. So far, I mean, Scarlett doing an excellent win at game 1, doing beautiful creep spread with Mutiling and all that sort of stuff. But Bomber, I think, has adapted. I think he's adapted to Scarlett's playstyle. And I think he's got her playstyle covered. She loves Mutiling, she loves creeping out the spread, spreading the creep, whatever. Yeah, I mean, she loves doing that, and she loves her Mutiling, she absolutely does. But so Bomber has that covered right now. I think he has, and he has won the last 2 games. And every single game she's gone Mutiling, and every single game Bomber has got Marine, Widow Mine, but in game 2 he tweaked it just enough to give himself the advantage and shut down the creep. And in game number 3, he just poured it on. He just went a step higher. He had a massive amount of aggression. And Scarlett, I feel like she was just didn't know how to respond to the massive amount of aggression that Bomber was pushing out in that game. She was trying to just get her shit together and then push out. But Bomber did not give her a chance to step back and get her shit together. He's just constantly hitting her. And eventually she just had to GG. So it's going to come down to this game now. And as I was saying at the end of the last game, it really is Scarlett's game to make something happen, because she can play like she played the last 3 games, and she is probably going to lose. In fact, she's almost certainly going to lose, because standard Mutiling play, which is what she's been doing, is not enough. She's going to do it, and she's going to lose, because Bomber knows how to beat that sort of player now. He knows how to beat it, and yeah, I don't know. Scarlett's going to have to do something, and what it is she's going to have to do, I don't know. I do not know. I mean, she can't go for an early 4th and try and just go over the top macro, because Bomber does a very, very decent early amount of Marines. He's always got like 6 or 7 Marines going out. He actually went up to 16 last game, around the 7-8 minute mark. He had 16 Marines going out there. He did a beautiful hit on the 3rd base, so really, really nice thinking ahead. I mean, every Terran player knows that the Zerg is going to get that 3rd base out, because they get their own 2nd. They know the Zerg player is going to get the 3rd base out. So what Bomber did was he got his expansion, then he got a buttload of barracks. He got 16 Marines out by like the 8 minute mark. He pushed out. He wiped the 3rd base off the face of the map. And it really, really put Scarlett quite a bit behind. And after that, she just couldn't get back in the game. She just couldn't do it. And yeah, so I mean, Scarlett definitely cannot go for a 4th base. I really don't know what else she can do. I mean, maybe, I think definitely she needs to pull back on the mutas a little bit, because she goes for a very, very large amount of mutas, and then what happens is she doesn't have enough banelings to really kill the Marines, and the mutas can't do anything. They spend most of their time flying around, getting shot by the Marines, and then flying away. They don't really actually do anything in the game for Scarlett, so she needs to pull back on the mutas a little bit, not go as muta crazy as she usually does, and yeah, just something else. I mean, maybe Mutiling could still work if she pulls back on the mutas, if she goes for just a crap load of banelings, chooses her positions, tries to choose her positions, goes in from 3 different directions, maybe gets a beautiful flank, and just wipes out Bomber when he's not expecting it. But I do not know. I mean, maybe Roach Hydra. Roach Hydra would be good. Some bloody Ultra Tech would be good if she can manage to get to Ultras. I mean, that would be really, really nice. That would definitely wrong foot Bomber, because suddenly he'd have to get a ton of Marauders, and he's usually not decked out for many Marauders. He's just got like maybe 1, maybe 2 barracks with Tech Labs. That's a major switch that he'd have to make. And I mean, yeah, I mean, Ling Ultra is definitely not a bad choice. It's definitely not a horrible choice to be going. And I think Scarlett could really make it work. And the good thing about going for Ling Ultra is you've already got the upgrades. When you go for the Ultralisks, you've been going for Lings and Banelings for the entire game, and you've got the Ultra upgrades already there from when you went to Ling Ultra. So that would be my pick. You go for Ling Muta, maybe a little bit of mutas, but I would not say more than 6 or 7 mutas total for the entire game. You get them out, you start to make that happen, and then what you do is, when you're sure that Bomber is really set into his Ling Widowmine play, and he's looking very comfortable, and he looks like he's going to put the hurt on you that he did last game, you go for Ultras. You get out the Ultras, you start building a crap load of them. You've got the gas, because God knows Scarlett made enough Mutalisks last game, so God knows she's got the gas. And you get the Ultras out and you just rip apart his force, man. Just go in there, 5 or 6 Ultras, get in there straight off and just start destroying shit all over the place. And you keep the pressure on, you take it over to his side of the map. And that would be my play from Scarlett's point of view. Because, I don't know, man. Alright, Infestors, Fungal Growth, could be awesome as well. Could be really awesome versus the Marines. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a bit dicier. It's a bit more spell casting. It's a bit harder to make it work. But I think it definitely could be workable as well. But really, when you're talking about Infestors, you need something else which can capitalize on the guys, but not only their health being sucked down, but also the fact that they can't move. And Banelings definitely do that. But yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, it's definitely going for Infestors, Fungling, and then have Hydras mopping up is a million times more efficient than having Infestors and then having Banelings and Lings mopping up, because you'll lose half the Lings even when the Marines are being fungled, and the Banelings die no matter what, so the fungal damage is pretty much wasted. You're only using the spell to really lock them in place. But we will see. It looks like Scarlett is going to be very persistent as far as the Mutaling goes, and I mean she's going for a very early 4th base here, so this is going to be a change up. Usually I don't think she goes for the 4th base quite as quick. She's just going over the top macro, and she's going to try and make her way with the over the top macro, and it does seem like she's definitely going to be wanting to stick with the Mutaling. She's like, I gotta make Mutaling work, so how do we change this up to make it work while still using Mutalings? And this is her plan, going for the fast 4th base. She's got a macro hatch in front of the main base as well. Queen's going to be hitting these guys. They're going to go up here and then come in over there. She's got the Overlords to see them, so the guys are going to be right over there, and they're all going to die as they're coming down. So really nice job there from Scarlett. And so far the dropships, they'll maybe try and drop down here again. I don't know though, the Marine count is starting to get very low. But this is fine. I mean, these guys, even if they die, Bomber is switching into high gear. This is exactly what we saw last game. The 2-pronged attacks, the constant reinforcements. He's got his 3rd base, that's all the economy he needs. He's screwing Scarlett around with this around there. And he's got these forces coming in as well. He's got some burrowed Widow Mines doing some beautiful things. He's got a dropship full of Marines. He's got a dropship full of Marines. 2-pronged attacks, 3-pronged attacks. Bomber is keeping the pressure on, and he's doing it absolutely beautifully, though he's not paying attention right there. All those Marines are going to die. Probably paying attention a bit more over there. And so far, yeah, just Scarlett is doing a really good job, though, cleaning all this up. But the question is she going to bounce back? Is she going to go out and hit Bomber on his side of the map? Is she going to make that happen? Because she's done a little bit of aggression, but when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit. After game 1, she really hasn't gone out and really tried to hit Bomber really hard. She just sort of sat back and pushed out a little bit, but at the first sign the Bomber was pushing in, She's like, alright, defensive mode, 100%. I got to deal with this right away. I cannot let him do stuff in my base. And yeah, I mean, it's fine, but at some point you've got to attack. And oh my god, 3 Widow Mines hit all of them, and that was just absolutely brilliant. One of the most brilliant Widow Mine hits I have ever seen. So fantastic job. But Scarlett, man, she's doing the same things. And she did last game. Got the 4th base out nice and fast. She hasn't lost this 4th base yet. She hasn't lost any of the bases. So the really hard pushes that we saw from Bomber last time that really, really ravaged Scarlett's defenses, they're not doing the same things that they were last time. He's not getting in here. He's not wiping out bases. He's not wiping out a ton of stuff. He is going for a single entry right this game. And yeah, I feel like that's definitely not going to be working in his favor, but still, he's not doing as much damage as he did last game. Although this forces, they're still going for the bottom. I feel like he should be hitting this base at the same time because multi-prong, he did such a good job last game, and I mean, why not continue doing it? Scarlett does have a queen over there to spot that, but yeah, still going to be trying to, they're just sort of holding off here. I mean, Bomber with his Widow Mines, with his Marines. I mean, Scarlett is still got a ton of mutas right now. There's 19 mutas, and they're just trying to do a little bit at a time, but they're not doing serious damage. They are actually pushing out right now. It looks like Scarlett's just enough to make this work, and Bomber is a little bit pushback than that. I mean, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. He has lost like that. He's lost forces like that 100 times before. But he's always come back. He's always headed over there. But Scarlett doing a much better job of making sure the Bomber isn't just all over her bases. I feel like Bomber, I don't know. I do not know. He's not quite being as aggressive as before. He is still being aggressive, but I feel like Scarlett is starting to put him at a bit of a defensive mindset. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Bomber, you can still see that he wants to go out there. He wants to make a ton of things happen. He still wants to be very, very aggressive, but he's having a bit more trouble. He's, just in terms of, I think, the micro battles down at the low level, he's having a bit more trouble trying to make it stick. He's not taking the massive amount of damage. He's not killing workers. He's not really killing a ton of units like he was before. And suddenly Scarlett is starting to move out, starting to make some nice close hits happen. Do that little bit of a dance there to take out the Widow Mine. That is a beautiful attack. And she's going for this base while the mutas run back. So she is starting to be very, very aggressive here. And the Ling's forcing that base to cancel. It's not a really, really awesome attack, but it's pressure, man. It's pressure, and Scarlett has slowly turned this around, and she is putting pressure on Bomber right now, and Bomber does not like this state of affairs, man. He is pushing out right now. He's going to let that base go down. He's going to head in here. He's going to try and turn it around. He does not like the fight being on his side of the base. He's going to push out. He knows he doesn't have anything to fear from the mutas, so he's pushing out. He's got a small force over there. He's got a much larger force going in here. He can potentially take out both these bases if he plays his cards right, and really, really nice, but Scarlett's going to be shredding this force quite heavily, and the medevac's got to watch out, and look at all these basings coming out. So Scarlett really, really doing a nice job there. She's lost her base there. Very unfortunate, but she has really got a lot of units out on the map. I mean, she's building a ton of Lings, and she's really going out there and really, really defending quite nicely here. And what's more, she's pushing out off her defense straight away, getting into the Terran bases. And she's making it last in the long term, and I don't think Bomber wants to take this game to the long term, because if it goes for long term, he's going to have to get a 4th base, and then he's opening himself up to mutas, because mutas travel a lot faster, I feel like, than the Marines, unless the Marines are stimming, and you don't want to be stimming just to run across the map. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. I do not know. Bomber's going to try and make this work, but Scarlett, I feel like she can just, at this point, I feel like she can just push ahead, push these guys off, and Bomber is not doing multi-pronged attacks anymore. I don't know why he's not. He really should have. Like these guys over here, oh, these are actually all workers, so what is going on here? He's actually nearly mined out this base as well, so his income is actually completely shocking, man. I do not know why he is not mining as much as he can. I feel like he's probably just left his fourth base behind quite a bit, and look at that attack, man. He just maybe getting a little bit desperate there to push back, and the Widowmane's got off some nice hits, but everything died there from the Terran player. Absolutely everything died, and suddenly Bomber is in an incredible losing position right now. In fact, Scarlett, if she plays her cards right, if she does everything right, she is going to win this game right now. I mean, she should be putting some pressure on, and I think she's going to be saving this drop there, so that's another drop coming down. Unfortunately, only Ling's defending that, so the Muta's going to go up there, and the Ling's going to be taking care of these forces coming in. So Scarlett definitely getting her shit together, and this attack is going to be destroyed. These guys coming in, bit of a desperation move. They are going to go down, hoping to get some Widowmine hits, and the Widowmines are getting some beautiful hits, but Scarlett should be able to reinforce that quite fine. These guys all getting taken out, and Scarlett, I feel like she is definitely in command as far as this game is concerned. Obviously, she doesn't want to sit back and just let Bomber get his shit back together, because that would be bad, and she's definitely got a chance to go in here. They're the Overseers, so she's got the Overseers in place. She's got everything working in her favor. But this is what I'm talking about. This is something you should not be doing. She's got a single Widowmine over there. She's got a bunch of Lings, and she pulls the entire group, her massive Muta pack, back to hit that Widowmine. She gets into the defensive mindset so easy, and it really has not. And I mean, she's definitely doing some stuff a lot better this game. Like the Mutas into that group of Marines. I mean, that was a half decent group of Marines there, but she still sent the Mutas in, did an awesome attack, and that's exactly what she needed to do. Take some hits to the face. I mean, obviously don't take too many. If you see a bunch of Widowmines, get out of there, which is good. But she's really got to put the pressure in, and oh, look at this, so good, so good. But Bomber has managed to get a bunch of Marines out, and Scarlett, I don't know, man, she's doing so well, but she hasn't been really hard in there. Getting the Mutas 100% attacking these worker locations, taking out bases, and I feel like she should get in a little bit of a safer position, knock these guys back, bloody them up quite a bit, and then send the Mutas 100% to start worker hunting. Taking out bases, taking out workers and stuff like that, because it is not a good thing to be sending the Mutas in to hit these guys. And she just focus on defense with her Banelings, and this is good. She's starting to really hit these guys nice and hard. Muta Force could probably take these guys out, and she's going to take them out. And there, this is it. This is right now. Go for the bases. Start taking out the workers. Start hitting these guys hard. It doesn't matter if he sends 3 or 4 Marines into your forces. Just whatever. Just wipe them out. Forget these guys. Go past them. Go for the workers. Go for the economy, because yeah, she's just backing off, man. She wants to. She's doing the safe plays over and over again. She's doing the safe plays, and right now she could let this base die. Just move the workers out of there and wipe out 2 bases with the Mutas. It's such a good play, but I mean, Bomber is almost just keeping her pinned here with the reinforcements, because the Mutas are just so loath to go out and start doing some worker damage while there are still Marines coming in. It doesn't matter if there's only 4 Marines, the Mutas do not want to move out. But finally she's just gone overwhelming, she's just gone in there, and Bomber just could not maintain that amount of Marines that he really needed, and finally the base is going down, and Scarlett is going to make this happen. She's going to make this work, but keep the pressure on. keep the pressure on. Where are these mutas going? There's another base over there you need to take out right now. And there we go. There's a bit of a pause there, but game going to continue to go on. And the mutas, this Scarlett is playing very, very safely here, very, very safely, and she has the advantage. She has a awesome advantage here, but she's not going for the killing stroke. She's just she's playing it safe. This is 100% playing it safe, and because she's got an awesome economy, because she's got, well, she's just, because of her awesome economy, she's eventually going to win this game. Eventually, but, I mean, we got to that position 2 or 3 minutes ago where Bomber had a ton of Marines, and it looked like he may have actually made it work. But, I mean, Scarlett eventually did push it out, but it was a lot closer than it ever should have been. Ever should have been at that point. And, yeah, just, I do not know, man. I guess she doesn't want to move in and just take 4 or 5 Widow Mines to the face of her clumped up muta army and just lose all of them. That's what she's worried about. And I don't know, I mean, it's a fair worry. I mean, that shit can happen. You can lose all your mutas to a stupid mistake. But at the same time, the amount of safe play that she's playing, I definitely think she should push out a little bit more. But there we go. Anyway, she had the advantage there. Great plays with just that massive muta clump and just really, really nice defense there. She really capitalized on her defense. Just really nice plays, especially over here, nice and early in the game, just pushing him back. And she was not necessarily going for full aggression, but she was solid. Absolutely 100% solid in her defensive plays. And Bomber just could not break through, could not do the scary sort of damage that he really likes to do. And in the end, Scarlett just went for massive amounts of macro, and Bomber could not deal with it. And that is how Scarlett won this game. So, I mean, congratulations. She won the game with beautiful macro play right there and beautiful defensive play. And we are going to be moving on to an ace match right now. It is going to be down to the wire. Scarlett versus Bomber. And it will come down to who can play better. I mean, it's I feel like we're in game number two again, except this time Scarlett has sort of got Bomber's play scouted, that really sending in Marines, packs of Marines all over the place to try and hit 2 or 3 times in a row. I feel like Scarlett has started to slide into that groove where she knows how to deal with that sort of Terran aggression, and she just did a beautiful job. So now it's Bomber's choice, Bomber's decision to try and deal with that, because once again, I think if he tries to do that again, I think Scarlett has got it sorted right now. I think she's got it working. So yeah. Well, we will find out in game number 5 exactly what happens, so stay tuned for that. Ace match coming up. It's always awesome when we see an ace match, especially in quarterfinals, because earlier on in a tournament, you usually think like it's going to be a good player versus an excellent player, and the excellent player will just win. And there's just no doubt about it. But even early on, we got still 8 players in the tournament, and they're so close. These guys, man, just so close. I don't know. I mean, the only players who won 3-0 so far is Tasia, and even he had a lot of struggle taking down Reigns. So, very, very awesome from all of these players. But we'll move on to game number 5. So, stay tuned for that. Coming out should be tomorrow. Yeah, have a good one. This has been Hairy Muppet. I hope you enjoyed this game.